Hi, welcome to Chrissie Crafts. I'm Chrissie. I'm a crafts enthusiast and a yarn hoarder. So this week it's all about Unravel, the Unravel Yarn Festival that was held at the Farnham Maltings over the weekend. That's the brochure that came with it. I went on Friday and Saturday with some friends of mine. We actually stayed overnight, even though it's just down the road, but that way we get more time all together. And what a festival, what a show. So many gorgeous artisan yarns, hand-dyed gloriousness, and the place was packed full of like-minded people. It's so fab finding your own people, like the people who get you. I can sit there and just stroke yarn and swoon over it, and everyone around me is like, yeah, I feel it. Whereas at home they're like, huh? Anyway, as you can see on my wall behind me, I made a few purchases, so I thought I'd share some with you. First off, it's been so February and gray and stormy, just dreary. So this to me was sunshine. When I saw these, oh my word. They were together in a basket, Hillview Farm. She had the most glorious stand, Natasha of Hillview Farm. It was all copper. I put some pics on my Instagram feed, and copper wire baskets. It was just so stunning, and succulents hanging. It was it was like art. The stand itself was art, and then it had this art yarn. So this is Superwash Blueface Leicester sock weight, and this is Shades of Coral. And with it I got, because it just reminded me of juicy summertime, Shades of Flamingo. Aren't they yummy? I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Well, I do actually. I have a shawl in mind, but at the time I had no idea what I was going to do with them. I just saw them and it said summer and sunshine and yummy, so I bought them to cheer me up. Got these cards, Crochet Happy, Stitch Happy, from TillyFlop Designs. Everything I talk about will be in the show notes below. I'll put all the contact details and Instagram feeds and everything, because I'm all about sharing the love of this festival with whoever couldn't be there. It was so fun. Next up, I've got SnailYarn. Now, these are the same colorway. One is in silky mohair, and the other, it's alpaca, silk, and cashmere. Luscious! But they're done the same colorway so that you could do them together. Winter Sunrise, it's called. They're hand-dyed in Italy. SnailYarn was an Italian company. They were so nice, and their stand was just full of silky softness, and I just wanted to lie down on the table full of yarn, but that would have been probably a step too far. I have an idea. I've seen on Instagram some knitting and crocheting that mixes up mohair and other types of yarn. I mean, you could just do a strand of each and hook them together, but I'm thinking like a couple rows of the mohair and then a couple rows of the regular yarn, a couple rows of mohair. So somebody on Instagram was doing that. It just looks so different and interesting. I thought, I gotta try that. So that's probably what I'll do with that. And then this is like a souvenir, but I will use it. But this is from Rosie's Moments, and it comes with a little tiny lavender sachet. I'm a sucker for like good packaging. I mean, just that in itself is like, oh, tiny lavender, I'll buy that. Could have been on the stick and I probably would have bought it. And it is sparkly. Can you see that? It is sparkly. It is 4-ply. Unravel Sheep is the colorway, because if you notice, she dyed it especially to go with the Unravel logo for this year. Isn't that gorgeous? So I really don't know what I'm going to do with that, but that's a souvenir right there. And the label's so cute. I think I'm just going to leave it hanging on the wall of yarn for the moment. but it sparkles. She had some there that didn't have glitter, but whenever glitter's an option, I'm on it. So, that's not all I bought. Heavens no. Oh, non-yarn, but very cool. This is from Emily Cross, a ceramic artist and designer. It is a little dish that is magnetic. There's a magnet underneath, and so it can hold pins and needles and pins and anything, but it's like beautifully painted, a beautiful tile design. And again, I just looked, I thought, oh, a magnet, and all the stitching I'm doing and embroidery and pins everywhere, and that'll just, it's a pretty way of storing things. I mean, really, this show is so full of all these lovely small artisan brands that just make the most amazing yarns and fibers. And to talk to these people and their passion for what they do and the artistry and the thought that goes into everything they make on every stand is just, well, it's intoxicating, and it's really inspiring because it just makes you want to go home and make all sorts of things. Your crochet tip of the day? Never ask a woman her age or how much she spends on yarn. So last week I said today I'd talk to you about craft clubs. Finding your people is really important. Like I was saying with Unravel, just being with like-minded people is just so invigorating. It is so fun. It gets you really jazzed up to do a lot more crafting, and you feel really creative. Even if there are just two of you, you can set up a craft club and you get a regular dose of inspiration. I have 3 steps to making a great craft group. And it doesn't have to be just crochet or knitting or embroidery. You could just say craft group, and whoever is wanting to come can just bring whatever they're working on. You might find you're introduced to a new craft you hadn't considered before. So my 3 steps are this. 1, find a place. You could decide to have it at your home, and that's great. You could have it at your kitchen table where there's lots of nice lighting. You could have it in your sitting room where there's a really cozy sofa. Just make sure you can accommodate the number of people that you're inviting. I regularly use the community center in my village. There are village halls, even the pub, a cafe, you know, a corner in a place like that. I do have another craft group I go to where we kind of take turns at each other's homes every month. But it's just important to kind of know where you want to be and where you want to situate yourself according to how many people you're going to have. Second step, step 2, is to set a regular date and time. So whether it's the first Thursday of each month or the 3rd Tuesday, and from 7 till 9 or 6:30 to 10, it doesn't matter. Just I would recommend that you make it a regular thing, because that way people get to the habit of it. And families get into the habit of accommodating that one evening all to yourself where you can go and craft with other people and be happy. And then the third thing is finding people. You might have a lot of friends. You could just ask your friends to all come around. My crochet club started from a bunch of beginners that I taught in one of my workshops. By the 3rd week of our workshop, they all had kind of gelled together and were friends, and they didn't want to stop that. So we thought, actually, let's keep meeting up. Let's have a regular time where we could all see each other, and I can help them advance in their crochet as they progress and learn more, and they could all catch up with each other. And from there it is morphed, and I have anywhere from 12 to 18 people come once a month to my local crochet club, and we have so much fun. We really look forward to it every month, and it just is, and that's been going on for years, so it's really quite nice. So what starts small can morph into something bigger, and word of mouth, you know, you spread by word of mouth. We had one of my recent additions to my crochet club was a woman who we meet in the community center, and she was walking home from a meeting past the community center and looked in the window and saw a bunch of women crafting and crocheting. And so the next day she rang up the center and said, there was a group crocheting last night. I've just moved to the village and I crochet. Can I get involved? And so the woman gave her my details, and she contacted me, and now she's been coming for a couple months now, and we've become friends. It's so nice. But I think what serendipity that she was walking by at that point. Besides that, if you're not as lucky enough to just wander past a place that has a crochet club in it, I would recommend asking some friends. Post a flyer in your village you could post a flyer in a local haberdashery. The owner of my sewing shop, it's a haberdashery, sewing and yarn shop, whatever you call it. In America, we don't call them haberdasheries, we call them, I think, sewing shops or something. Can't remember, it's been a little while since I've lived there. Anyway, your haberdashery. The owner of mine, I taught her how to crochet. I went in and was talking to her about crochet, and she didn't crochet, so I taught her how, then we started a club, and I teach there now. So that's a good way to start. And then you have a constant supply of yarn there. So once you find a place and you find some people with the date and time, put together an email list so you can remind them. I send my group a little reminder a couple weeks before we meet every month to mark the date, and plus you can get a list of how many people think they can come, so at least you know who to expect. And that's about all it needs, and show up on the day with your yarn, some magazines, some books, and you should be off and have a lot of fun. A bonus step, step 4, bonus step, if you really want to be successful, bake. Like every month, have something really yummy that everybody looks forward to. I do, like in February, I made dried cranberry shortbread because it was Valentine's Day and I wanted something a bit pink, a bit red. It was so yummy. It's a Martha Stewart recipe. I'll put the details of that below. It's really good. It's really simple, and the cranberries just make it gorgeous. And Martha uses powdered sugar, icing sugar in the UK, in her recipes for shortbread, and it just gets very melt in your mouth. It's so different than the other shortbread using castor sugar. It is really gorgeous. So we scoffed them quite quickly. So what's in my hoop? I haven't had much time to do embroidery this week because of Unravel, and the kids are having half term and everything's kind of all over the place. I had a really great embroidery workshop last week, and I've made some progress on the heart for the bag. So nearly done. I want to put some more of these roses, the woven wheel roses around here. Although I love that little violet, it might have to go. I think I'll put it on something else because it really doesn't go with, unless I want to do like 8 of them and do a couple up here. I either have to do more up here and a few more down here along with the roses, or I just do the roses and cut out that violet and put it on something else. This was mainly for teaching purposes. I just wanted to show different things you could do with satin stitch and long and short stitch. So, and the thing is with embroidery, if you don't like it, you just snip it out and it's fine. Like, it's not as excruciating as if you have to frog a crocheted jumper or something like that. The other really nice thing with embroidery is that floss embroidery thread costs less than £2 for a skein of embroidery thread, which is a lot less than the yarn. But and then it's also okay then if you have to just snip it away. It's just giving, it's just pennies lost, not much. So that is that. I'm really pleased with how this is coming along. So nearly done. So yeah, that's with that. It is a bag. Here are the handles. Hopefully by next week I'll be able to show you that one. I'll have more time. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye!